believe we are live now. And hey, everybody. This is the Biz Meet Global podcast, and I'm Tom. I'm going to be your host tonight, and we're also going to have a co-host join us, most likely. That's Hutch. He should be joining in soon. We did kind of a last-minute schedule of a podcast tonight, and the subject of it of this podcast is going to be, well, of course, we could talk about a lot of subjects, but one of the topics we want to cover and start with is leveling the playing field, and what we're talking about is having a level playing field for opportunities for everybody in business, just like in sports, So in sports, there's a set of rules, and everybody has to operate according to those rules. They're agreed upon rules, and nobody gets any favoritism or anything like that. You could have say if we're the greatest sports team in a league, the very best, playing against the worst, and each one has a chance to win as long as they're obeying the rules and playing fair. Chances are the one that's better is gonna win the contest, but that's because maybe they spent years building up their expertise and coming together as a team. So it is fair. So Hutch should be joining us very soon. He may be having some trouble trying to get into the podcast, seeing as this is new for both of us here. So let me double check and see if, in fact, he is going to be able to join in or not. It should be a very good podcast once he comes in. He's got a lot to say as well. He is one of my partners in Trade Market Global, and so the other partners they may join in as well. With other podcasts. So it should get pretty should be pretty interesting. Like I said, we're just getting started. This is episode 2 of our podcast, so we're gonna get the ball rolling, get the momentum and the steam going for the show as each episode goes and it goes along and it grows. So let me see if while we're doing this, while we're on, because this is live, we can have people can join in, and we can we can communicate, obviously, through text by anyone who joins. People who want to call in, we can send an invite link for people who want to do a call in on the show. Like, we welcome that. Looks like we can only have a certain amount of people calling in and co-hosting, and guests at a time, which is unfortunate. But I think unlimited number of people, as far as I understand, can observe, can text live comments on the show, and we can see that. So if you're not able to call in, you can always text comments, and communicate with us that way. So that should work pretty good. Excuse my voice. Just ate some food. Had to cram my dinner down as fast as I could. Got in last minute here, to make it for the time for for this podcast, and because I've been driving, as I mentioned, I've been driving a semi truck all around the country, and it's an everyday thing, and things don't always go according to plan. So, sometimes you got a plan to arrive somewhere at a certain time, and of course traffic doesn't always work out, and that's what happened here. You had some traffic issues and whatnot, but made it last minute. But it was also finding parking. that seems to be the nightmare for the big semis. Um, as you get into the evening and you're trying to find a spot somewhere, that can be difficult. Trying to, it's got to be semi parking. Um, so if you got to have a place that welcomes semis to park, and you can't just look around for it because it's not just going to be there. You have to plan ahead of time. You have to know the places that do that, and of course, truck stops are the places you can pretty much trust. Other than the places that you've checked out before. Sometimes casinos will have truck parking, and so when you're running out of time on your Department of Transportation clock, the clock that says, hey, you only have, like, say, 2 hours left of drive time today, otherwise you're in violation of the law. You have to find a place to park before that clock hits zero. And you think you have 2 hours left and you got plenty of time? No. You're driving down the road. I mean, you're on the highway, because you can't just drive anywhere on those things. You got to pretty much stay on highways and and roads, that come off the highways that are designed for semis, usually in commercial areas, of course. And so you can think, as a new person like myself, a new driver, I can think, hey, yeah, no problem, 2 hours, plenty of time. Yeah, you stop in at a truck stop, they're full. By the time you exit out of there, you're several minutes trying to look around for the parking space and then get back out on the highway to go and drive another 15 minutes down the road to find another place. You go to all of the rest stops, and they're jammed full, and pretty soon you're getting desperate and your clock is down to a half hour, and you're thinking, oh my God, the next, where's the next rest stop? Where's the next truck stop? 15 minutes down the road, and it can take you 15 minutes to park that thing. So now you're in trouble and you're panicking. And I've been there myself. So this time I planned ahead, but so I had plenty of time on my drive clock, but we're running out of time to be able to make it for this podcast. I want to do a little bit earlier. So we might think about doing this Sunday nights. And we might think on doing that around 8 or 9 Eastern time. We'll announce it. So we're just kind of winging it today and whatnot. So let me see if we can get Hutch, if we can get him to see if we can find him. Let's see here. All right. See if I can. Okay, let's see if I can get a hold of him here. Let's see, his first time jumping on, and we're both, learning on this. He's got to click the link that I sent to him, and then he's got to go through there. So he's probably opening the app and trying to find it that way. I don't know if there's a way to do it that way. Okay, let's see here. I'll be sending this text message. I bet you he's on his phone right now. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let him know that sending it by his email. And let him know to join. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we'll let him do that. And then what I'm going to do here is see if I can also find a different way for him to do this. There might be a better way. Let's see. Admins. No. All right, let's see. How can we do this without stopping the podcast here? We don't want to do that. Okay. Can do. All right, no. I bet he's trying right now. So, anyways, while he's doing that, while he's trying, I guess we're just going to continue with this. It looks like he's coming on. He got it. He got the link, or he's now myself. I had to figure this out. Um, all right. Hey, Hutch, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, now I can hear you. Yeah, it's a low voice, like the volume's low.
Well, let's take a look and see here.
Can you hear me okay, or
I can hear you great.
it could be my headset.
Yeah, mine should be okay. It's just like when we were talking earlier. So
Yeah, it could be the app, but we are live right now. It is recording. I got about probably 10 minutes on, and was just talking with everybody about all of our huge list of listeners right now.
oh,
Yeah, future listeners, and mentioned that we're both learning this, and when you go back and you listen to the recording, you'll hear we're both figuring this out. And I said you're probably trying to get in there. I didn't know how to get in. I'm glad I looked it up. I don't know if you got my text message or not.
I did, and what it said was I was on there, I think before you jumped on, but it said I had to wait for you to start the podcast, and then it said I was going to get a notice, and I'd be notified when you did, and it did not notify me.
Yeah.
Until you got the text, so I had to go back in and do exactly what I did 10, 15 minutes ago, and then it popped me right in. So,
and
it made it actually pretty easy.
Did you have to click join podcast or?
Nope. All I had to do was click when it said click here. If I wanted to join the cast.
And did you have to go through the email or?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So
through the link.
Through the link in the email. Okay, yeah, because I just put invite and it pops something up. It says enter their email address here and send. So it's not like I can look in my email, the sent folder that maybe in the app, I don't know. But I thought, geez, I wish I could see what link they sent and I could text it to you. But then I saw you pop up on there and it says, Hutch entered the live studio. And I'm like, okay, great. All right.
It was a long walk.
Hey, we're figuring it out.
I figured it out.
We got it now. Now it's you and me. It's Hutch and Tom and the Biz Meet Global podcast. And now the Hutch is here. It's really getting started.
Yeah, nobody said this was going to be easy. Pretty much like everything else we do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Hutch and I have been, as Hutch likes to call it, what do you call it, the war room. We've had business discussions trying to plan out how we're going to become financially free, and one day, and how we're going to live in a beautiful mansion, and or at least a giant house or whatever, just something that's comfortable. Our dream houses and a dream lifestyle, and not to be chasing a paycheck and not having to deal with all that employment and all that stuff. Which is some people might like it, but yeah, we just don't. We can get along with it and we can deal with it and we can enjoy it, but ultimately, if we had our way, we'd both rather be financially free. I think a lot of people are, but Hutch and I, that's why we got along so well, is because we said, yeah, but we're actually going to do something about it, and we're gonna chase it. We're gonna chase that dream, and we're gonna get it eventually. And at least we'll have fun chasing too. So,
well, we have been after it for quite some time, and I missed actually meeting face to face and sitting down in the war room, and
yeah,
and just going through ideas, and and over the years that we've been talking, a lot of things have changed.
Oh yeah,
going from Global Q International, which is really the main umbrella,
yeah,
if you will, to just working international trade and us having contacts all over the world that we have right now.
Yeah.
To a social media platform, if you will, for people to get together, business owners and dreamers and inventors and anybody that wants to talk, well, in my terminology, talk shop.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to talk shop can do it there. And another site that's connected very easily through the same site to take a business and put their products on a site that can help promote their business. So, I mean, we've gone down a long, long, long road, and it's probably going to be a lot longer road.
Yeah, yeah. But it'll definitely be worth it.
Yeah, we see the light at the end of the tunnel, and, you know, it's every day gets a little more exciting. We've had our ups and downs, and, you know, the days where it's not, you're like, man, you know, we put a lot of thought into it. The hours and hours we spend on the phone and in the war room and discussing things and which way to maybe go. And, you know, with us not being independently wealthy and having to work so many hours to support our families, you know, to make sure that we have what we need to survive here, but work at this on the side.
Yeah, yeah.
To make a better living.
Yeah.
It's about just putting businesses together. We got this dream about international work and trade and
yeah, and look how it's morphed into like domestic too. It's just kind of more and more. I think if you tell me if you agree with me that we're just seeing that, hey, you know, there's a lot of stuff that people need worldwide, and you know, it just comes down to trade, and it's a beautiful thing because trade is at the core. I mean, it's how, I mean, it's how any society can increase its standard of living, because think back to when humans just had canoes. I mean, you could still trade, you know, like one village would trade with another, maybe in their part of the landscape, wherever they're at, they have a lot of, you know, berries or something, or they got a lot of the right kind of trees to make, you know, baskets with, or something that's a useful tool, or bow and arrow, or, you know, something. And the other place has a lot of great stone and things for stone work and all that. And when they trade with each other, now they're both better. Now they both have the stone tools and they both have the wooden tools that are high quality. Now, so it increases both. I mean, it's such a simple thing that really what fascinates me is that it's been expanding since then. And right now we're at a point where it's like, you know, now it's international. Like now it's country to country. Before it was like you know, hey, buy local, you know, like within like you know, because I was up there living up north in Wisconsin, and where you're at in Wisconsin. I was up there, so if we talk about, it doesn't matter. I'm in Tennessee now, but if we talk Tennessee, it's like, don't buy Tennessee products from Wisconsin. You know, buy local. You know, but you know, I imagine at some point it was, you know, buy from your county, you know, or buy from your town, your village, and you know, to support your local village. And it still exists, but it's expanding, where now people are comfortable with buying from different states, and without getting angry at each other. And I mean, imagine like when we were both young, when we were both kids, you know, that was a little bit different, wasn't it? I mean, international, of course. I mean, it was like buy USA, but there was a lot of, you know, buy local, you know, buy from your local. I mean, it's still that same way, but I mean, it's more and more, it seems to me, at least, unless I'm just imagining things, that it seems more acceptable to buy from other states, you know, because look what we have now, the internet and all that. It seems like buying from other states is still being loyal to our you know, our way of life here, because it's still within the United States. So it's like it's been expanding, you know, from villages, you know, and then pretty soon buying, you know, in your county. Now it's like, you know, hey, buy in your state, And now that's expanded. Now it's basically, hey, buy in your country. And now that one is starting to break down as the world is expanding. And so really, whether people agree with it or not, it maybe a question is, should it be stopped? Is it just a natural process as the whole world begins to communicate? I mean, should we stop it? That's one interesting, I guess that'd be an interesting discussion point.
Yeah, I don't think we have much of a choice with the way this world is and the way it's going. And it's, even if you're supporting your local business, you're going in and you're purchasing products from them, and you get home and you find out that the product was made in Pakistan, or Indonesia, or China, or Bangladesh. It doesn't matter. It's you want to buy, when you're from America, you really want to support the United States, and which we obviously are all about. We're from here, but we also understand, we realize that this is a global market. It's never going to be just one. You're buying only made in America, because America doesn't make everything. I'd like to believe that we could.
Yeah.
But we're looking at it in a broader spectrum, and looking at the fact that we've got connections, we've got relationships with people all over the world, and to be able to connect those dots, and this, like our War Room Days talking, being able to take somebody here, let's just say in Wisconsin or Tennessee, that business is growing and getting crazy busy, and they want to expand, and they're building a bigger factory to expand, but they want to get into China, or they want to get into let's say India. They want to get their business expanded overseas. That was our original thought of doing all this when we sat down and started talking, and we have those contacts with people that are looking for businesses here locally. When I say local, I say in the United States, and local, in our individual states, Wisconsin and Tennessee, and to help them further their business. And by us helping them, it's helping us.
Yeah.
It's helping us build a business, but it's helping everybody. It's helping their families, and their employees, and their families, and this type of thing. So having those is important. I mean, I've always said I was born 100 years too late. Where people had the canoes, and stone, and maybe someone was trading. They were trading
beaver pelts, or
but trading with handshakes. And back in the day, you didn't have the craziness that we have now, and we didn't have the internet, and they didn't have all this stuff. But somebody gave them a gallon of milk for a dozen, and shook hands, and business relationships, and that's something that we've agreed to do.
And is it going to come back? I mean, could it just be that this is just like another ebb and flow? You know what I mean? How there's always a cycle, and that the pendulum swings back, and we're all enamored with this ability to communicate through the internet. But look how people are already, they're already starting to get sick of Facebook. I mean, not to say anything negative about Facebook, but when it first comes out, it's like, hey, this is fun, I mean, never mind, MySpace was already there, but it wouldn't matter the name. They just, now you could connect up with all these people you haven't seen in a long time, super easy. But then the newness begins to wear off, and now it's kind of like, it's a tool that you use occasionally for communication. But I notice that in my life, I get a little bit further away because it's just not as new and exciting. And but yet it's still there. It's a tool, like to communicate with more people. But it just kind of, the newness wears off. So you know what I'm saying? So could it be like that? Newness wears off, and people are going to say in business, "Hey, this is really fantastic." The same thing. Wow, we can communicate with people overseas. We can communicate. Think back before the internet when someone wanted to do, say, for example, wholesale. Do you remember that, Hutch? They had to buy a wholesale book. They probably had to go to a bookstore, like Barnes and Noble or something like that, or somewhere and find a wholesale or a magazine, a wholesaler's magazine, or there wasn't the internet to order it from either. So how did you order? There's catalogs. So Sears catalog, remember that?
The old Sears and Roebuck.
Yeah. If you wanted to order something at wholesale, or you wanted to find a list of wholesalers, that wasn't easy to do, and it was easy to keep people, to out of wholesale, to have a separation between retail and wholesale, because you just had minimum quantities of 1,000, 10,000, whatever. It kept the general public out who just want to buy one or two, of something. But that's changed. The internet has changed that, and people are like, wow, this is fantastic. Now I don't have to hunt around for this catalog of wholesalers and people overseas. And by the time you get the book, who knows if they're still in business? And then you got to call them and find out, are they still in business? And you got to call internationally. There's no email, you got to call internationally, and hopefully they have an 800 number. Well, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, look at this. I could just get on this computer here, and I can just email them, ask them if they're still open, or if they're, flying their website. It says they're open. I can just spend money to check them out and see if they'll answer. And now I can talk to them. And so it's all exciting. And hey, look at that. I can even order stuff, and we're communicating back and forth. And, then things begin to go wrong, as they rely on the supply lines, because, you don't know if they're unscrupulous, if they're a bad business person, or they're just, as you and I found out, cultural differences. Then the other side over there in the other country, they think they're doing it right. They're doing it their way. And over here in the U.S., we're doing it our way. And they don't always mix it. They're thinking, why are they doing it that way? Are they trying to screw me over? And over there, they're thinking, they think we're stupid? They're going to screw us over? They think we're going to mail them all this stuff and without having full payment. And the people here are thinking, do they think we're stupid? We're actually going to give full payment, and they'll never have to mail it to us. And all this kind of stuff happens pretty soon. As this newness might wear off, do you think, Hutch, maybe that? I wonder if it might come back where they'll say, remember the good old handshake, and be able to look them in the eye and meet them in person. And that really was a lot more reliable. Don't want to get rid of the internet, and it's a great tool to make it easier to continue talking. But I think maybe we should, you could hear them in their boardroom or whatever their meeting saying, I think we should at least get back to that, and at least somewhat. We don't have to go overseas all the time, but we should at least go shake hands, or maybe we could find people to help us shake hands with them before we do. Help us connect the dots. In other words, we do need a personal connection. I wonder if that's going to, I don't think it'll ever go away, but I wonder if also that the excitement of the internet is going to wear off in business circles as well. And they'll say, yeah, we're still looking for ways to make it easy through the internet. That's exciting. But meeting in person, they're going to say, yeah, there's video technology and everything. But yeah, but they could just zoom the camera in and you won't see what's really around. If they got the money, they're going to say nothing beats being there, because you can smell. You can't smell things through the internet. You go there and you're like, this place smells like crap. What the heck? It smells like urine. In some third world countries or some places, just like, what's going on? They showed the best part of the office, on the video camera. Then they go there and you're like, what is that? What's all that garbage? Like, oh, that wing over there, we don't use that. And you see the child labor going on the other side. They just don't focus the camera on that side. And so as much as technology develops, I wonder, people are going to come back to it and say, you know what? Yeah. We don't have to get rid of the new technologies, but we need to include the old school ways and mesh them together in a way, learn from the past, learn from the wisdom of the old school, and, include it in the new. I don't know.
I still believe that the old school is the best school, and it's because you do look them in the eye and there's a handshake and there's a there's a trust factor when you do this. I mean, it's something that has always been there, and I'd like to believe it always will be, and maybe it will be it'll come back a little stronger. But I mean, with as many platforms as that there are out there to purchase and sell things, there's more coming up. There's more coming out daily. I mean, probably thousands of them, hundreds anyway, if not thousands, coming out daily of things, platforms to buy and sell things, to make things a little easier. But like we talked from the beginning, that the personal touch, if somebody wanted to do something overseas with maybe a contact that we have that we can get things done for them, connect the dots, if you will, that we would do a personal vetting of this business to relieve some anxiety, I guess, from these prospective business partners.
Mm-hmm.
Know that when they are getting in bed with these people, that there's a trust, and there's a connection there because of Trade Market Global, and I mean, you and I've talked about this, and we pride ourselves in going the extra mile and trying to put the old school touch on it.
Yeah, nothing beats that face-to-face contact, and especially if you need to rely on that supplies. Do you remember? Anyway, obviously, I don't want to use names until we had permission, but there was one company that wanted to have us help them with relationships in China, and they were dealing with electric cars. They were making electric cars, and they were getting a government contract for building utility vehicles, like maintenance utility vehicles, and they needed to be at least or over 50% value added, manufactured in the U.S., but value added, like in the USA. And so, it basically they could order stuff from overseas, but the majority of the supplies and the labor cost put into it, over 51%. I think it was 51 was the number, but it was definitely over 50%. But I think it was 51%. Needed to be, in America. So the labor, the supplies, things had to originate 51% of it in the USA. So they could order the chassis, is what they were going to do to save some money from China. And they had a couple different suppliers, I think, or three over there in China to save some money. And the one that they didn't visit in person is the one that screwed them over. They had an order for like 1,600 of these things, or from I think from a government, for the government contract. I believe it's been a while, but I think how it went was they turned to us because they said, hey, what they did is, they, out of that promise of making like 1,600 or whatever it was over 1,000, like that, and over like a 6 months or a year or something like that, they made the first 3 or 4, and then after they made the first 3 or 4 and shipped them, they said, the supplier in China said, we're not doing it anymore. We want to build the whole car. And they just, in the U.S., they said, we can't. It has to be over 51%. I mean, now they're scrambling because they have these, they're getting orders, and I think they got some good reviews at an auto show in the Detroit area. And they were absolutely screwed. And it's sad. I mean, it was just, that bugged me to hear. And it just turned out, that supplier was the only one they hadn't visited in person. And when I did some research online, looking based on what I'd heard, meeting people who have done international business, and I looked up to kind of see, more about this whole deal of relationship-based business. or relationship-based societies. And it looks like the USA, it basically the two was relationship-based versus, I think there's different terms, but one of them was called, it was like contract-based or something like that, or, rule-based or relationship-based. It was something like that, but the rules there meant like, contracts, but I think it was rule-based versus relationship-based, and the way they deal with people in business and all that. And when I got curious and looked it up, how many countries, are relationship-based basically, or the rule-based, and then you see what pops up. It turns out I think the USA is like one of the only countries that is rule-based. There may be a few others that I'm forgetting, so audience, please forgive me. I'm not an expert at this, but on that, because they're specialists in that, they understand that these, that type of like sociology, I think, or I don't know, psychology of large groups, sociology of this and but yeah, seeing that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's an eye opener. Meaning the USA is one of the few, if not the only major one, that is mostly rule based in how to do business and operate, with how society operates. Whereas other countries, when they say relationship based, it's like if they want to do something that goes against the rules, they'll say, it's okay as long as we're not messing with the people who we're in good with. They don't want to mess with the relationships, even if they have to break the rules a little, as long as the relationships are stable. Whereas in the USA, they're saying, that here the rules are the rules. At least that's how it's supposed to be. The rules are the rules, and if you got a friend who, hey, you got a relationship, it's like the rules come first. You can't you can't break the rules to help out the relationship with your friend in business or in the regulations. It's like, no, rule-based. So we rely on contracts here is how they distilled it down to, was like, we rely on contracts and we believe that they should be enforced, whereas in the countries, when it comes to business, they'll write a contract and later on they'll say, yeah, well, things have changed because the relationship changed. In the USA, they think, hey, once you got the contract, that's it. In other countries, like, no, the contract doesn't change if the relationship changes. And then that you could think, man, how many arguments start that way? And so, yeah, for people in the USA here who think you could just get an agreement with a foreign company out there and you got it. Hey, they signed on the dotted line. You're like, yeah, no. Talk to people who have done international business. They will say, no. If you can't afford to fly over there and sue them in their own country according to their own rules, good luck. Good luck. So you have to have relationships. They're saying that's the bigger companies, have said they who have experience have said they had to allow for a budget for relationship building and maintaining of relationships in the countries they're doing business in. And that's why the small guys and girls, small business people have trouble because they don't have the budget to build. They're not like a giant company that can spend thousands just going over there and visiting and developing that and making mistakes after mistakes they can write off on their taxes. So they need help. They need help with people who have relationships over there already. And I guess it's super common throughout the ages to use what they now call a trade agent, or basically it's a sales agent. So people are like, what's a trade agent? And it's the same thing as an independent sales rep. It's a representative. That's all. There's someone who talks on your behalf and you give up a little bit of your percentage to get it done because they're over there. They know. You're buying the coffee beans. They know how to go in there and smell the coffee beans and taste them and make sure that they are the way you want them to be, So, but yeah, that's pretty interesting. But you can see I'm going off on this, and I love it. That's a powerful thing.
It is. The relationship thing is huge, and people need to be at ease if they're looking to, let's say you're going to want to have manufacturing done, open up a manufacturing plant in a different country. There needs to be relationships there. There needs to be, if you're opening up a factory there, well, now there's a lot involved. There's a lot involved with that stuff, and
yeah,
who there you can trust. Who do you know to work on your behalf?
Yeah,
So, there's a lot that needs to be done but there's a lot of trust you got to put into that person that's going to shake hands with these people.
Yeah, and I think, and it's not that relationships aren't hugely important here in the U.S. either. I mean, at all. I mean, it's huge here too. I just, so I guess, when I was reading about that, the difference, in countries, I think maybe in the U.S. we're one of those countries, one of the few that actually puts a lot of weight on the contract. On once you sign it, that it means something, and the rule of law will look at it. There's strict rules that basically say, as long as both sides are, it's not so lopsided, like someone's taking advantage of someone. Otherwise, the definition of agreements, the law will, a judge will look at it and say, no, this isn't fair. This, it doesn't fit with the definition of a valid contract. But if it fits with the definition of a valid contract, where there's compensation on both sides and it seems fair and no one's coerced and no one's intoxicated, all these little things that are basic, it's like, well, then even if the other party doesn't like it, the judge will still say, you got to obey it. So I think that's one thing. But relationships are huge here because, what's the old joke about, I love that, the movie, what is that, with Rodney Dangerfield? Back to School? Did you ever see that movie?
I did.
They filmed part of that in Madison, Wisconsin, at the college there, University of Wisconsin, I think. That, and he says something as a businessman. He's joking in the classroom with the comedian. I forget his name. How can I forget his name? Sam Kinison, the crazy history teacher in the movie, and he's like, he's starting or no. No, I'm sorry. It was another teacher. It was the prim and proper kind of the snooty hooty tooty, the kind of prissy kind of teacher. He was all, he's all about the education, all about nothing wrong with that, but it's like that's all he was, and then it's a stark contrast with Rodney Dangerfield's character. He's like a street kind of guy, and his hilariousness. And he's like. The teacher's like, and here's what you're going to hear: the costs for the starting up a factory. And then you hear Rodney Dangerfield in the audience of the classroom. He perks up and he raises it. He goes, "Oh, you got it all wrong." He goes, "You want to put up a factory? First thing, you're dealing with waste disposal." He's like, "I don't know if you know who runs waste disposal." He's talking about the mob, He's like, you're going to have to pay off some people to to get the regulations. And I forget his line, but he did make a point. There's you got to have good relationships here, in order to do that too. But
yeah, they're just as important here as they are overseas. I mean, I think it's there's contracts that are, when in your country, our country here. I mean. When you sign a contract, you're going to probably have an attorney look at it and on both sides and look everything over and drawn up and most contracts are pretty ironclad, but to feel good about those contracts is you're going to feel a hell of a lot better about it if you got a relationship, if you've actually sat down with these people or have somebody sit down with them and have spoke with these people and shook hands with these people.
Yeah.
And connected the dots. And I think that's real important. And I don't think that's ever going to go. I don't think that'll ever go away. I mean,
yeah.
It's going to make any company feel at ease. I shouldn't say never because you say that it's.
Yeah. Never say never.
With the way things are changing in this world, hard telling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. And I know one of the other aspects they mentioned was kind of an interesting. It's related to that with the relationship based. It was one of the traditions of doing business that is a little bit different. It's nothing huge, but it makes a difference in a little way. Was is when you get down to business and when do you just go out and have fun together, get to know each other, And in the USA, since they said that was kind of an extension, of that. That's kind of an effect of us being that kind of rule-based society or rule-based. So we put more weight on it, I guess, on the contract. We want to make sure we get the deal done first. So we want to get the work done first, then we play. So it's like, let's get the contract done. Okay, now let's all go out and celebrate. But they said in most of the other rest of the world, in Europe, they say it always about Europe, but it turns out from when I was looking online, doing some research, that almost most countries, they like to get to know you first and go out to dinner, drink with you first, and then when you get done with all that, then the next day or two after or something, then you get down to business. So there's always that.
They want to drink with you because that's the truth serum. You start having one, 2, or 10 cocktails, 1, 2, or 10 or 20 or whatever cocktails with these other business people, and then they get to see what you're all about. It's
yeah.
I understand those cultures that do that, and I know from you spending time overseas that they did that a lot.
Oh yeah. They tried to get me drunk. They tried to get me drunk quite a bit, and they were entertained by it, and I obliged them. And
I think they succeeded.
They did. They did, and they thought I was pretty entertaining, but I held my own, and there's a lot of revenge I'm going to have to get in a fun way, like. If I can ever find some of those people and get them back over the USA, I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to show you how it's done in the USA, and fair's fair. So I'll honor your tradition, and let's go drink first before finishing business. But we're going to drink the American way with large mugs and and drinking games. Even though I don't play drinking games, I'm going to do it anyways, just to mess with them. Just to get them back for the horrible headache I had the next day, and no, it was fun, and we all had a great I had a great time with all that, but you're right, they check you out, and they like to hold their liquor and see what you're like once you start going overboard, and to me they just said, wow, he's pretty entertaining. Yeah.
Well, it is a good judge of character, because at the end of the day, it's about your character, and you know what? If you can, we all know that when people get half jacked up with alcohol, a lot of people act way different. Some like yourself, you're a lot. That you entertain them because you're funny, and they got to keep up that, but it could have went a different direction. If you were a different type of person, they do that, and then they find out that, man, this person's a real a-hole.
Yeah.
I don't want to do business with them.
Yeah.
I don't want, I don't want to associate myself with that individual, because at the end of the day, they call it truth serum for a reason. Things come out. That have been hidden, that you've been trying to hide, and
yeah.
And people that do that, and so the culture that does that, the people that do that, I think it's genius. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to sit down and get to see what a person's all about.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, the way they were doing that with you was pretty smart.
Yeah, they were pretty slick that way. They were getting me to get me to the edge and seeing what I was all about. But they succeeded. But they just found out I really enjoyed talking with them. And next thing you know, by the end, they were like calling me brother and all that, and in their language, of course. And we had a good time, and it's a shame some of them I've lost touch with, but I remember them, and I wonder if they probably remember me, like in China, some of them probably just because I'd stand out, and it's easy to remember the guy who looks, quite a bit different, blonde hair, blue eyes, type of thing.
Yeah, you look a little different than they do
over there. So I'll stand out. But I remember all of them, and all the people that I drank with, and I'd love to touch base with them. It's the pandemic was such a shame. Haven't been able to go back since then, and I don't want to until it all clears up, and travel's a lot easier. It's starting to now, but wait till we see what happens to these future elections too. See who's in charge, see what they do. There's some squirrely stuff going on. So
there's a lot of squirrely stuff going on, and that's a lot of that's made things difficult for us, and even moving forward with things because of the way things tightened up, and hell made work life bad, and I mean just overall life with all that, the pandemic, and it changed everything, and that's what it was designed to do. That's why I mean everybody has their personal opinion on the stuff. So
yeah.
Pandemics, and I call it a plandemic because it was planned. It wasn't just something that it happened by accident, and it is what it is, and we're all going to move on, and it's always going to be here, and life goes on, and I take that stuff with a grain of salt and move forward, and you can't move. You don't want to go backwards. You want to. We kind of were stuck in the mud for a while, but now,
yeah,
onward and upward, and go out there and build more relationships again. Now it's easier to do now than what it was a couple of years ago, and that's what we want to continue to do. And
yeah.
Shake hands with people and get to know people, and do these goofy little podcasts like this, and talk a little bit. You and I've done this so many times, but now we do it in different states, and we can do the same thing we've done for years, but just do it on a podcast.
Oh yeah,
different than us sitting in a war room. I guess if we don't think about the podcast, just talk like we always done, and we talk about bouncing stuff off people and getting other opinions, and when we have an audience that wants to chime in and give opinions on things, we're open to opinions and anything that they feel that we could do to better improve our company, or what their ideas, if they have ideas, we've always been open to that, and nobody here claims that, neither one of us claim to know everything. Our other business partners, they don't claim to know everything, and we're just a bunch of average guys, normal guys with a dream and an idea and a lot of sweat equity put into it, and where we're not going to give up.
Yeah, definitely not. There's no way.
With it, and man, anything that any help that we can get along the way to help us push it along a little quicker, our ears are always open for that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and this is a great way to I think, because when we created the discussion site, Biz Meet Global, that's BIZ and then MEET, global, GLOBOL. So bizmeetglobal.com. This is the podcast, so this is where we could actually talk live, and people can contribute, by text, by just joining in and listening live, but also listening to, each one of these live podcasts is going to be, saved as a recording, and so listeners can go back and listen to it, and catch live broadcasts and put their 2 cents worth in by text, and then maybe if they want us to, they can invite, ask us to send them a link to be a caller and call into the show and talk, and we can ask some people if they want to be a guest and a guest host, or co-host, whatever, and they can we can they'll have some good advice for us. We can all learn that. That would be great. That would be exciting. Um, and so yeah, I'm really going to look forward to that. But they go hand in hand. That's why it's BizMeet Global, and the site is bizmeetglobal.com. That's the place where, while we're not on the podcast, everyone could go and just contribute and talk shop, talk business, meet each other, advertise your products, talk about everything business. It's the meeting place for everything business. And here's the podcast. It's the live meeting place for everything business and stuff related to business. Like, remember one of the topics we were thinking on talking about tonight was how do we create a level playing field? Leveling the playing field. So people who saw the title or in the future who are seeing the recorded version, they're going to see the title, leveling the playing field. And they're going to say, when are they going to talk about that? So here we are this far into it, and
maybe never.
Yeah. Well, that is something. For the listeners out there that Hutch and I talked about many times, and then earlier today too, we're talking about it. Leveling the playing field, and what I mean is, like, there's the sports analogy. At first, if you think of businesses today that are so powerful, they lobby in government to change the rules in their favor. They change the rules in their favor so that the small business can't compete. And if they're successful at it, I mean, that's what happens. The smaller business or their competition can't compete. Now, that's where it's kind of like, okay, I see what they're doing, and it's very clever, but really, I mean, it's clever, but there's a lot of things that are clever, like, things that are not respectable. There's a lot of clever things out there, like, stealing tomatoes from your neighbor's garden. You can be clever and sneak in quietly, but it's like, yeah, is it respectable? I mean, little kids can do stuff like that, but it's kind of like, yeah, that's nothing really to write home about and say, look how great we are. We convinced the government to make it so the competition can't compete with us. I mean, in the long run, look how respectable it is with sports. You could have the greatest team in a league playing against, like, let's say it's American football, the NFL, and in a regular season game, you have the previous, season's Super Bowl winning team. That's all pretty much comprised of the same players. So they're pretty much Super Bowl material, playing against the worst team in the league, like the one that was actually the worst the year before, and they're pretty much the same players. They have an equal chance of winning because the rules. They all have to obey the same rules. And the one who's the best team is probably going to win, but they spent all that time building up their expertise. So it's fair. I mean, the other team has a chance. They could turn on the juice, or maybe they just have to go back to the drawing board and practice just as hard for as long, and maybe they'll get there. But they have a chance. They're not held back by things that are impossible for them. They're just held back temporarily by their, they just haven't gotten there yet. I mean, but they have a chance to do it. So I don't know, that's a thought. What would create a level playing field for business? Because I think there's a lot of people out there who feel like they just can't start a business, and yet maybe it's not always going to be easy.
No, well,
but
with what we put together so far, it levels the playing field a little bit, because what we've done, and what we're offering with what we've done in all these years of putting things together, and we've offered we have a platform for any business. It doesn't matter what it is. You could be selling widgets, and it's, and you want to expand your horizons a little bit. You want to expand, more people to see what you have, and you got employees that can put these products, like on Trade Market Global. Anybody can do this. I mean, it kind of, and we're offering that up right now for free, if I remember right. And to be able to put products on the site that will promote their business. They can also put videos of their business on our site to show their facilities, show their employees, show their products, show, it kind of helps. Well, it takes anybody, a small business, big business, kind of levels the playing field a little bit. We're giving you a free opportunity with what we've done so far to expand your business, to be able to use what we've put together, and with a lot of sweat equity and time and money and things like that to get this going. But we're offering it up for free to get people to use it. It's just another platform, and it's one of the latest platforms. It's a real good one. I mean,
yeah,
people that that you have put it together are a hell of a lot smarter than we are. And if anybody's listening, I think they can figure that one out. But it allows anybody to use it, and why wouldn't you if it's free?
Yeah, yeah.
It's free to use.
Yeah, and it's useful, and I think that's don't you think? I mean, that stems from what we've learned about all the problems with international business. It's like we see all these people in another country that are dying to buy products made in the USA, and yet there's factories going out of business in the USA. They don't have enough customers, and you're like, what the heck? Why don't they just call each other? I mean, to people who don't know about it, they've asked me the same thing. Like, well, why don't they just get online and order it? And boy, that's a discussion right there, isn't it? It's like, wow, you would think they would, but they don't. And they just don't know about them. And the factory that's going to shut down doesn't tell them about it. And what a shame they got to shut down. They have hungry buyers all over the world. And so it's like, this is, so that's kind of a passionate thing. We think, this is about getting people together, bringing people together. So it's like, I think callers, I think it'd be great if people who listen to this show later and they find in our podcast that's live, they should call in and still comment about the previous episodes like this one. Tell us about their business. What are they going through? What are they offering? They get a free bump on their business, right? They get a free advertisement, but they can also talk about some of the challenges that they've had to go through, and then we can learn from that as hosts, but also, the listeners. We can all learn together. And
and they can go on BizMeet.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of level in the playing field. Also, I mean, you can take a business that really wants to expand and get on BizMeet Global and talk with other people, chat with other prospective buyers, prospective manufacturers, to talk to people and help get it kind of like a handshake. But obviously it's not as personal, but you can still, talk to people, bounce the business ideas, and you'll have someone say, yeah, you know what, we can do this for you. Hey, we can manufacture this for you. Or, we would love to have that product, what you have, and connect those dots just from going on this business chat room, if you will.
Yeah.
Discuss business, and maybe that'll help a business that doesn't know how to get any bigger. They want to get bigger, but they don't know how to get there. And it's we're offering a platform for that too. So I think it'll help. It'll help take the smaller businesses. Maybe we can help them move up. And get larger and larger and larger. And like I said, it doesn't cost them a dime to do it. It's going to take a little time to put all your products in. And matter of fact, I remember you've even offered to do that for people. Of course, we don't want them to give you 100,000 products.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to have somebody else driving your truck for you, and
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In order to figure that out. But willing to help people do this stuff, and we're helping them do this stuff without making a dime. You know what? When people start buying and selling products on there, then and only then maybe we'll make some money. But in order for them to put their business together,
Yeah,
give them a platform to spread their wings and
yeah.
make their company more visible.
Make their dreams come true. It
Yeah,
doesn't seem like that's what it's evolving into. Is we're creating for okay. So we've got the YouTube channel, which is the video video blog, which is developing right now. It's getting started, and now we have the podcast, which allows people they can go to the videos, they can watch the videos, they can comment on it, and then and then the podcast here right now to learn from, to contribute, to join in. And then, of course, we have, like you said, a marketplace they can go for free, put their products on their marketplace right now. So they're for their physical products. Then the platform, the BizMeet Global Social Networking communication sites, they can put their ideas out there and learn. So basically, it's like we're creating this whole thing for people to get together and have a way to learn from each other and build business and commerce and trade and investment and
level the playing field.
yeah, yes. So listeners out there, come on, you guys, contribute your ideas. Hutch and I can. I think you and I, we could keep talking about this forever. And our other partners, they're going to join in eventually, and it'll be fun. But I made the first episode, and it's not. It's okay, I guess. It's just me talking. It's an introduction. I feel like I want to edit the beginning, but so you listeners out there, if you listen to the first episode, hey, it's not. It's from the heart, but it's not that exciting. So that's the good part. But it's more of here's kind of what it is, and I was doing it as an experiment to see, hey, what's it going to sound like? What am I going to sound like? And then so now it's you and I, Hutch. We're doing this, and I'm wondering if the other partners, if they're gonna join in, if they're gonna be interested in being co-hosts at some point, or contributing by listening and contributing by text message, or so we'll have to surprise them, show them, and say, hey, look what we got. We're creating. Look what we got starting here.
Right.
And so far, I'm enjoying this.
Oh, I'm enjoying it too. Wouldn't you think they'd want to be in the celebrity status that we're in now?
Yeah.
Podcasts. Everybody across the world knows who we are already. And
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to be celebrities like us?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, and I look online. Let's see here. I wonder if this is how this is working. I'm trying to figure out. I clicked on the link. I was trying to share it, and I pulled. So I did it on my laptop right now. I've got it open up, and I posted on Facebook the link. Share the link to this episode on Facebook. So I could, if I sent it to you through that, you could post it on your Facebook, and people might want to just listen. And I look on it and it says 5 followers.
Imagine that.
But this is the second episode, and we didn't tell anybody. So who are these followers? So if anybody knows anything out there, it's like, how the heck do we find out who are they real followers? Because how can this be? We just had an episode yesterday, and I didn't tell anybody about it until afterwards. I told you, and you and I are doing this now. How can there be 5? I could see that being you and me, 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
If you and I are on there because we followed our own thing, now that there's still 3 others. I don't know who the heck they are, but
Yeah. Unless someone just found us by whatever, through Podbean. That's
Maybe Joe Rogan's following us.
yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't he be?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, exactly.
Yeah, I just sent you by Facebook the messenger, the link to this particular podcast. I know it's getting late in the episode, but that way you can see what it looks like. And I don't know if you can actually copy it or not. And then you just paste it into your like post and say, hey, come here now or next Sunday. I'm wondering if should we do this, because the last episode, which is yesterday, I mentioned that for any listeners who decide to listen to that first episode, it's on there already pre-recorded. Is we're not sure if we're going to have a regular schedule. We could do it anytime we want, but are we going to commit to like a weekly or semi-weekly kind of deal? And that way people can chime in live. They can say, hey, well, let's check out and see if they're live. All you got to do is check it out, on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. But I wonder if Sunday night, maybe we could try for it or something.
We could try for it. I mean, and if they do follow us, they should be able to get notifications when we're going to go live.
Yeah, because I got to learn how they do this on Podbean. I mean, how to let people know. Do we need to post it, or do we need to, I could see how to, when I sent you the invite, did anything pop up to let you know it was coming up, or no? Because you hadn't joined yet. That's right. Now you're on this. I wonder how that's going to work. We can get someone else. I got a friend. He's got a great podcast, and I wanted to do at least one or two. It was last minute right now, but I was thinking I want to send him an invite. He would be great too, because he's got his podcast for music, and it's to give a shout out to them. Their podcast name is Low Standards and Pours, like Pours, like pouring a drink, and it's all about music, and it's a great podcast. I've joined in a couple times. So his name is Eric. I wanted to get him to join in on this. Actually, both hosts would be welcome to call in. I grew up with Eric. He lived across the street from me as a kid. Like we went to kindergarten together, and lived, all the way through like public school kind of deal. And then he went to a Catholic school later on. But still, I've known him for a long time, and kind of lost touch when I moved out of state and went down to Tennessee for school for a while at the University of Tennessee, and looking at all the beautiful women down in Tennessee, and lost touch then. But obviously it's like family in a way. You can't lose touch for too long. And we reconnected, and that's how I learned about how to build a podcast. The idea with Podbean was through him, and I'm happy he talked about it. So that's why you and I are able to. We're doing this, and this is working out pretty good. I mean, I'm not a tech expert, so he just kind of showed me and said, "Here's what you need to do," and that's pretty cool. So that'd be fun. He's a real estate agent, and he's made some good money in real estate and all that. So I'm sure he could have some great ideas for business. So, but yeah, anybody else we know, chiming in and get their experience. I know Hutch, you've got some great friends who have some good businesses. Yes. And I'm sure they could, they could contribute some good ideas. Of course, our other few partners, they could. I don't want to put them on the spot here. Then again, we're partners. That's kind of a fun thing to do. It's a fun podcast, but yeah, they could. I'm sure they could contribute some good stuff too. So, and all the listeners, I think that'll get exciting when we get a lot of people calling in and put some great advice on there. And I think, I don't know, what do you think, Hutch? We could start bringing some, eventually bringing some like business people on,
I agree.
and get some ideas on who. Maybe we get one day Joe Rogan will join us, and
Get him on.
just have him mention our name once on his podcast, and we'll have all kinds of followers, right? Like jump on his coattails.
Well, we better step it up then if we're gonna do that. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's got a great podcast. That's definitely for sure.
My son, one of my boys told me that tonight. He goes, "You need to listen to Joe Rogan's podcast." I'm like, "Yeah, I've heard." He goes, "No, you really do. It's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, I will." I mean, from what I've heard of Joe Rogan, we kind of think a lot the same. So
yeah, I've watched a lot of his episodes, and I think he got so famous just because he says he just loves talking to people. So he's open minded. He just has an honest discussion. They just talk about stuff. It's not even that scripted. And he's had so many Hollywood stars and athletes, and he says, I saw him in one interview talking. He says he'll talk to anybody. And just about anybody who's interesting, and I think that the realness of it is catching on, and I think that's something that inspired you and I with this too, isn't it? I mean, wouldn't you agree? It's like, obviously we're talking professional stuff here, but the genuine conversation, I think that's people are hungry for. I mean,
absolutely.
Look at politics. Look at politics right now. I mean. Not trying to take any sides right now for this right now, but when people are speaking genuine, I mean, I think people are getting sick of the fake politicians, and they're just starving for someone to say it like it is. And I mean, you can be professional, you can speak professionally, but everybody has a different style of language. But if their language is still, it's just what they're saying. They're not trying to fake it. They're not trying to trick people. They're not trying to. Basically, like, what's the one thing that really bugs you about politicians? I can tell you, what bugs me is they are the ones that don't answer any questions. They never answer it. They just go around it and avoid answering them.
Yeah, they skirt the issues and they skirt the questions and.
Yeah, it bugs the crap out of me, man. That's just. It's like you want to see that person just say, "Wait a minute, could you just answer the question?" Could you answer? It's like, is that a yes or is that a no? And they're like, well, I'm not sure really yes is really the appropriate or no is not an appropriate response. Like, well, could you give a response that would actually answer the question so that to the satisfaction of the audience? I think where we're going with the question, type of thing. And, but they'll just walk off, they press them, they'll walk off and they'll just say, yeah, don't give them an interview or that reporter. But it's just, I think people are just sick of it. And then you get a politician out there who speaks their mind and says what everybody's been saying, who's throwing stuff to TV. Listen to those fake politicians. And, a politician, someone gets up and does that, I think they're going to be, I think it's, famous because it's a sign of the times. And Joe Rogan having his podcast of just not everything's not just airbrushed, I mean, they're getting down to the real deal. So I think that's, so listeners can know that that's what we're doing here too. We're not here to be a soapbox, but.
Well, if we start talking politics, we don't have enough time tonight. I'll tell you that right now.
No, yeah, that'll.
I mean, I think most podcasts run about an hour. I think we're a little over that, and I mean, we don't want to get anybody bored, but I think you and I will chat, and we'll, maybe we could shoot for once a week or once every other, and
yeah, I mean, if we get a wild hair or something, we could always add another one in, just a pre-recorded one that's not live or something. We could add discussion in, or just save it. We could save it, but I think we should. The title of it, isn't that funny? The title of it was the level playing field. Before we close, I did have some ideas, and maybe we can discuss it on a future podcast. Since we are kind of, trying to keep it not too long, that's for sure. But for future, and here's how's this one? For business, and these are just funny thoughts, but that's what we need to do. It's like a think tank, right? So listeners, like Hutch and I, when we get in our war room, as Hutch calls it, We have ideas. We just throw ideas out there, no matter how stupid they are, and good ideas start coming out. The creative thinking process. So sometimes a not so great idea will create a better idea. So in that flavor, in that tradition, I'd say, what about rules that make equal access possible to politicians? That no matter how much money you have, you can't get special attention from a politician. Like, you're going to walk into their office. It's like a town square, basically. Whoever gets there first gets to be the one in the front of the line. It doesn't matter how much money you have. And you know what I mean? I don't know how you'd really do that, but maybe there's some intelligent callers or contributors who could say, hey, here's some good ideas to make sure that I hate to say little people, but to say not wealthy people, not influential, could have access to government officials. Because, and one thing I should definitely say on this podcast is, whether there's, when it comes to a level playing field, I think we've discovered what a lot of people don't know, is that there is a lot of free help out there from local governments and the federal government for anyone who wants to start a business. There's a lot of free resources, but for some reason it is not that easy to find. I don't know the reason for that. I'm not talking about grants. We're not trying to sell people on a program for, how to get government grants. I just mean, like, you could go to the economic development branch of your local, it's probably state run. When I was in Michigan, it was, I think it was called the Economic Development Corporation, and they work for the state, and you could just get free consultation on how to start a business in Michigan, because they want to help people start a business. And basically they would help you. You'd get someone, they like, hey, who would be assigned to you. And where I was at, and it was in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, it was just one person. There were only a couple people who handled it up in Marquette, Michigan area. And so I got him. He was a great guy. And he just basically consulted with me and said, you got to do all the work. But I'll tell you, here are the questions to ask. And here's what we need to know to build your business plan. And I had to go out and get all the info. I had to do all the work because it's free. And I found out the choice is, you can, let's say it's building a business plan, you can go out there and you can pay someone to do it all for you. But if you don't have the money, you can still do it. You just have to do it yourself, but the state will help you. There's someone there to help. And then there's SCORE, SCORE, I think. And I remember something for the Society of Retired Executives. You could ask questions, and there are retired executives that like to contribute for free, and you can look up. I mean, I encourage anyone starting a business and you're lost, go look up. They have a whole directory. I used them. They get back to you, like, ask a question. Like, if it's about legal, go look in the legal field, and you can look up their whole profiles. At least last time I looked, which was years ago. I don't know what they have going on now, but it's worth a look. I know back then I could find them by the field. Whatever question you had, look for the person who's related to that field, or the field or that's related to that question. And if it's about marketing, look up experts in marketing, and you can look up their resume. They put their profile. You can send them an email, and they usually respond within 48 hours. And it's someone you look up who has an amazing resume of 30 years as the head of marketing of some giant corporation, like someone who knows what they're talking about, and they're retired and they just want to contribute. So, I mean, there's free advice. You could be living in the ghetto and you want to start a business, and you say, I don't have anybody to help me to know how to do this. That's because they didn't know about, say, SCORE or local government branches that will have someone help them out. And they'll say, well, they're not going to treat me the same. It's like, well, you can go by email and you can get that advice. It's out there. It's just not everybody's talking about it. And so maybe this podcast will help people. So leveling the playing field, it's getting all the info. I think even Donald Trump used, I don't know, he used government programs, but they all do. he was honest enough as a politician to say he played the game. He knew he would use those grants, but all these big business people, as you learn, they do. And
They all do.
yeah, and why do they do it when it turns out it's available to even you and I? Not all of them are available to everybody, but because it depends on your, whatever it is and whatever subject it's about, whatever field it's related to. There's different qualifications, but they have a team of people. It's expensive, it's hard, but they have a team of people. That's why the corporations do it. They hire someone within their company to fill out the application and jump through the hoops. But if someone else wanted to, they could jump through the hoops and they could do it. But it's very difficult to do that. So maybe here in the podcast, we can help people, and they can help us, and we can discuss it, and someone will call in and contribute. And if they can't contribute on the podcast because they have too much to say, then your listener, please go to bizmeetglobal.com and post it there. Create a free a profile and post it there. Share it with everybody. That's our extension. I don't know. What do you think, Hutch? Are you getting in your car?
Yeah, did you hear me?
Yeah. Did you hear me?
No, it hooked up to my Bluetooth, and then I...
Okay, we got an echo now.
Oh, yeah.
So just remember, this is going to be on the podcast, on the pre-recorded for a long time. Yeah. See how this is, everybody. This is casual, unscripted. This is unscripted. You got to go on your phone on your Bluetooth, or on the car, and you go send it back to phone.
Yeah, I got to get out of that. I got to somehow get it out of the. Get out of that. Get out of that. Let's see.
On the car. I know I've done that. On the car, you just go to Bluetooth on the car, and then just say send.
I don't have Bluetooth on the car. Oh, here I can unplug it. There, how about that?
Did it work?
Now are you good?
Yeah, much better. Oh, now there's another echo.
Oh, I just unplugged my Bluetooth altogether because my car doesn't. The car I'm driving right now doesn't have Bluetooth.
Oh, interesting. Well, I mean, everybody knows if they listen to the last podcast that I'm doing this inside my company, my employer, the company semi that I'm driving. I'm driving an 18-wheeler, and we're in Ohio right now, not too far outside of Cleveland, actually, and we have a drop-off. I'd say I have a drop-off tomorrow morning, and we're just sleeping overnight at a TA truck stop. And my wife is with me, so that's why I say we.
Yep.
She's coming along with me for just a couple weeks. And I think it's starting to drive her crazy. I'm going to be going all over the United States while we're building Trademark Global, and I'll be putting together the video blog. And of course, you're able to contribute. We all can. Like maybe Hutch will have some videos pop in there, or any of the other partners might have some videos that'll pop in there. Like that's another thing I think people can know is if they want to do a product review, they can also. Let us know. We'll put it on. I'll do a review, or one of us, Hutch or myself or another partner will do a product review, and we'll put it on our YouTube channel. It'll help advertise your product for you. And we can interview you for your business too, even if it's over the a video interview. We'll put that on our YouTube channel too. So you can talk about your business and talk about how you got to where you are, but also the podcast will be linking up. So get on here. You can tell your name and your business, your website address, little promotion, and then you can in exchange you can give us some good wisdom on how you got your business going and how you succeeded, and help everybody else out, the listeners.
Yeah, it looks like we had a few people entered too, Tommy. So
you mean
entered the live studios. So there's a couple of them.
Oh yeah. I see a couple there. There you go.
Let's
Hey.
let's talk about it. This coming week, and we'll maybe do, if we don't do a podcast this week, we'll do one again next week.
Yep, I see it. What's the second one? Is that Prince?
Yep.
Prince
Ogana?
Ogana, and then what's the other one? It looks like it's just more of a coded username, Prince Ogana, and if you guys could actually text responses on here, you could actually chat on here. See, like I think I could even I could say if you follow that, say welcome to the podcast, and if I said that, see, welcome to the podcast, and so you guys are joining in, listening. Hey, definitely, you can text. We're going to bring. Obviously, it sounds like we need to bring this to a close.
Oh, well, most people don't listen to one over an hour, is what my understanding is, and I think we're
we're kind of dragging it out, aren't we? Hey,
I think we're dragging out the point they're going to stop listening to us. I don't want that.
I think, well, yeah, so they can see that we just love talking about this. So yeah, we should save it. I think you're right. Save it for next week, and
save it for next week. We'll come back with more ideas, and hopefully we got some more people chiming in, and we get their ideas. They can send text messages, maybe call in next week, and let's talk business. Let's get some things shaking here.
Yeah, and so let's. How about everybody? We try to shoot for what do you say? 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah,
and which would be 8 p.m. Central. If people if they really want to keep up with the show and know when it's going to go, we'll have it. We'll post. You just have to grab a free profile on BizMeet Global, and it'll be on the main. We'll post it on the main page. When the next show is going to be and the exact time in case we change it. Oh, so we may change it by an hour. Like 8 o'clock instead of 9. But if we're going to shoot for 9 p.m. for those listening right now and joining in, welcome. And you're welcome to listen to previous broadcast. This one will be recorded as well. Thanks for joining. And let's grow this thing.
That sounds good.
All right, Hutch. I think I'm not sure what you need to do to jump off. That's how new we are to this.
I don't either, but we'll figure it out.
Yep, and when you jump off, and I think because I'm the one who originally got it turned it on, I think you got to jump off first, and then I'll close it out, and then we'll see everybody again next Sunday, ideally.
Sounds good. Well, thanks everyone for listening.
Yeah, and keep up with us on bizmeetglobal.com, and I will post that right here. That is, here we go. Is meet. I'll put it right on the chat here. That way you guys can see. You can go there, sign up for a free account, and just type that into your browser. And head there. You're going to get a free account and keep up with us. Have your own discussions too. So that's they're in combination. So all right, Hutch. Hey.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Yep.
Good talking, Tommy, and we'll get another one out here shortly.
All right. Hey, have a good evening, Hutch. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. We're going to close this out. I think as Hutch is closing his out, I think I need to wait until he closes his out. until I can disconnect this. But okay, here we go. There we go. Yep. All right. So everyone, hey, thanks for listening. This is the Biz Meet Global podcast. Like I said, we're just getting started. That was Hutch. He is one of my partners for Global Q International, and with that, we created together. We created Trade Market Global, which is under trademarketglobal.com. That's our marketplace. But then for discussion, we created bizmeetglobal.com. And then that's why we have the podcast, so that we have an actual live way for people to communicate. You could, of course, do it live at the social networking site, bizmeetglobal.com, or you can do it here in the podcast, because the podcast is also just a great way for people to join and have a discussion like that. So, hey, everybody. Thank you for those who have joined us. I know it's only a few so far, but also thank you to the future listeners who, if you downloaded this and you're listening to it pre-recorded, it's already, you're listening to it now and it's no longer live. Hey, we appreciate you downloading it and listening to it. The best way you can contribute to help us keep going is by watching and following us, clicking on follow. But of course, by joining in, adding your text to your messages, and joining bizmeetglobal.com on the website, and joining the discussion, create a profile, join the discussion, and contributing. Because the best way you can help to contribute is to contribute your knowledge, and that way you can share your knowledge, and we can share our knowledge together, and we can share it with everybody, and that way we can all learn how to build a business, build a living in this world, the best way that the way that you want to, according to the law and according to the rules, But I mean, it's the type of business. Even if it's a small lemonade stand, or you just want to sell clothing, you want to be on the street selling clothing, and that's exciting. You want to be a street food vendor. That's exciting. That was one thing I was almost going to do. Actually, several people I know have dreamed about, like Hutch was talking about doing a hot dog stand, and Hutch's Hot Dogs, and and that's how, he and I talked a lot about that, and so there's a lot of small businesses that are very exciting, but also big businesses. You have dreams for that too. So you really expand your mind to think. Business, it's not just what you think about when you see on TV, what business is portrayed as. We mean literally business, anything. You're self-employed, for doing whatever it is. Contribute. We need your knowledge, and we all need your advice, and that's the most valuable thing you can do. So, everybody, thanks for joining, and it is today is Sunday, April 30th of the year 2023. So everybody, please have a great weekend.